The FTC filed an antitrust lawsuit against Amazon, accusing the company of operating an illegal monopoly. The suit made several complaints against Amazon, such as overcharging sellers, decreasing quality for consumers, and punishing merchants who offer lower prices on competing sites. Douglas Farrar, the director of the Office of Public Affairs at the FTC, pointed out that the size of Amazon is not the problem in this case. The complaint specifically targets anti-competitive tactics, which he calls monopoly rents.
It's not about Amazon being big. It's about Amazon doing everything it can to illegally prevent rivals from gaining the scale they would need to provide real competition to Amazon in the online superstore and services market.
Amazon said it will challenge the lawsuit in court. They also added in a statement that the FTC is, quote, wrong on the facts and the law. Scott, you are a shareholder in Amazon. What do you think of this?
Amazon should be broken up, and Doug and the FTC's argument, in my opinion, is valid. What Amazon says, and I've been a party to this, say you want to establish a presence on eBay or on Overstock, or, I mean, it's even hard to come up with them. They're so dominant, but other platforms. You say, well, as a function of doing that, I'm going to run a promotion. My product is unique. I want to do, they're being good to me at eBay or whatever, and I want to run a really good promotion and give people a great deal. Amazon has crawlers that alerts Amazon when you are selling your product at a lower price than they can get it on Amazon, and then they call you and say, we're going to kick you off of Amazon. And they have such dominance that unless you kind of play by their terms, which ultimately kind of includes using their shipping, buying their media, and slowly but surely their VIG, if you will, in the marketplace has gone from 19% to 34% of sales because none of us have any choice. Amazon's cut of revenue from U.S. sellers has grown from 19% in 2014 to, get this, 45% in 2023. So it's not size. It is their willingness to leverage and abuse that size and that strength to force companies not to work with other platforms, meaning no other platforms can compete. This is the definition of monopoly, anti-competitive abuse. And also as a shareholder, I'm going to make money because this company should be broken up. This company should be forced to innovate, and it'll be good for shareholders. I believe AWS would be one of the most valuable companies in the world as an independent company. I think Amazon Media Group would be an incredibly valuable company as an independent company. So I think as a shareholder, as someone who's in the ecosystem, as someone who invests in venture capital firms, I think this is a win-win-win all around.
I'm, again, going to take the other side of this monopoly argument. Everything that you said about those merchants, that they're punishing merchants, okay, I think that's true. But in my view, the number one priority here is the consumer. And the reality is that Amazon has done more for consumers in the past decade than just about any other company. But if you ask any customer of Amazon, everyone's happy. I'm sure you're happy as well. So I don't really buy this business of, oh, it's not because they're big. To me, they look at the market cap, they look at, how rich Bezos is. Lena Khan wrote that landmark article at Yale Law. I think she set really high expectations for herself. And to me, this is just all about that and fulfilling those expectations.
So first off, I'm not happy, Ed.
Okay.
I'm just generally not a happy person. So this is your first of many inaccuracies there. Second,
okay.
When you have one company that dominates 50% of online shopping, you are going to have the market power to start raising prices. And across a variety of product categories, it's no longer the least expensive. And two, your consumer test is what's called the Bork test. And Bork has mostly dominated antitrust law for the last 20 or 30 years. But before that was a better test, and that's the Brandesian test. And because there's two things that create health in our economy. One, low prices and competition. And I would argue there's not a lot of competition here, and we don't know what we're not missing in terms of innovation. And two, what we do know, that retail has not been a growth sector and is not paying a lot of people a lot of money because everyone's had this oxygen sucked out of the air because of the channel power, the unfair power that Amazon exercises every day. So we have a lack of, Ed, try and go get funding for an e-commerce startup right now.
But this is my point. Why is the FTC trying to protect the founder of an e-commerce startup?
They're trying to maintain a healthy competitive ecosystem. We need startups.
I think the ecosystem is already healthy as measured by the experience of the consumer. The rents that they're charging to those founders of those startups, or the rents that they're charging to those third-party sellers, allows them to drive the prices down for consumers. So in my view, the consumer wins, and yeah, the third party merchant competition loses. But
Okay,
you know,
so
how bad is that?
I use this thing called Google, and I typed in Amazon no longer the lowest price, and I got 1.4 billion results in 0.58 seconds, and it highlighted a paragraph from Forbes. Shoppers are so programmed, i.e. Ed, to think Amazon is the cheapest way that they use it to comparison shop, while in a store are more likely to search Amazon than Google when looking for product information and reviews. But the truth is something different, thanks to sophisticated pricing tools and arbitrage. From economics job market rumors, Amazon is not cheap anymore. Why? Even other sellers in Amazon price stuff significantly lower than Amazon's price. From Quora, why are Amazon's prices not that competitive anymore? Sellers are free to... There is research everywhere showing that Amazon, because of its volume and its liquidity, will give you the impression that it's cheaper because it sees if you're going somewhere else, it'll match that price. But when you actually do the hard analysis, it is no longer the least expensive place. Why? Because they no longer need to be, because they are a monopoly and they are abusing those monopoly rents. In addition, Ed, when you finally decide you've had enough of me and you want to start an e-commerce company, there is no way to start any. 2/3 of jobs come from small and medium-sized companies. Retail is one of the biggest sectors in America, and it's been stagnant because small companies can't form. And the place they need to form and show some sort of growth is online. And no online player can survive without going to this toll booth, without going to the Death Star known as Amazon. This is not a healthy ecosystem. If you broke them up or they signed a consent decree where they couldn't fool you, Ed Elson, as you have been fooled into believing you're getting the cheapest price somewhere, they've been able to raise their rents on third-party retailers by 60% in the last 10 years. Is that a competitive marketplace?
The reason they can do that is for the same reason that, you know, you can charge millions of dollars for ad placement in the Super Bowl. There's a reason why CPG brands are spending 50% of their promotional budgets to get good product placement on grocery shelves. And it's because they have the best platform with the largest reach. And it's the same reason why merchants are willing to pay 45 cents on the dollar to get product placement on the first set of search results on Amazon. So yeah, of course it's pay-to-play advertising. And of course they're going to charge rents for a platform where you're going to make the most money.
But you have a lack of options. So even on TV, any other place you would advertise, whether it's in-store shopper marketing at Kroger's, whether it's at the Super Bowl or whether it's on a broadcast network, wherever you would advertise, there are substitutes. If you're a CPG company selling groceries or a home good, and you have to be online because your market capitalization is largely dictated by analysts who want to know the percentage of your sales done online, you have to be on Amazon. And Amazon slowly but surely says, if you want any sales online and you want to be able to report to your analysts that your online sales aren't anemic, you need to use our fulfillment, you need to advertise a certain amount, and every year the rents go up. And because there are no other options, there isn't a viable number two in e-commerce, which has arguably been one of the greatest wealth generators and one of the most important developing markets and ecosystems. So what do you have? You have one company sucking all the oxygen out of the room. And ultimately over time, and I think there's evidence, the consumer, who in the beginning was getting a great deal because Amazon used incredible vision and execution to pull capital forward and offer the consumer an incredible deal. And now that they essentially have monopoly power, they can charge monopoly rents. And as evidence shows, they're increasing prices not only across consumers, but they're extracting greater rents across retailers, which reduces job growth, which reduces money, which means Ed has no money to go buy shit on Amazon. Distinctive how much he's been fooled into believing it's a great deal.
You know, you go to Walmart, go to eBay, go to an in-store retailer. In terms as a percentage of total U.S. retail sales, Amazon only represents around 5 or 6%.
Oh, you're going to play that game?
Yes.
You're going to play that game? Okay. It's all in retail. It's been e-commerce, e-commerce, and e-commerce. Full stop. Even if you're Lululemon or Williams-Sonoma, the analysts want to know what percentage of your sales are coming from e-commerce. And if your e-commerce channel isn't growing faster than your offline channels, you are fucked. They will take your stock down, your employees leave, and you don't have the money, the capital to reinvest. It's all about how fast you grow your online sales. And there is one stop, one toll booth that 50% of all cars have to travel through, more like 60 or 70 unless you're getting gas, and that's Amazon. That is not healthy for the ecosystem. We should move on. We should move on.